July of 2013. People go by this church at 50 miles an hour or better. Most of them have been going by this for many years. It's kind of lost. It's just one small white church building like many others in New England. But for most people, it's just a white blur on their way to somewhere. Why should people notice this church? Why should they take a few moments to give it their attention? Is there something significant about this church that we have yet to discover? Let's look for clues. The sign, let's get closer and look at that sign. The First Baptist Church in Swansea, founded by John Miles in 1663. That's really old. I wonder what this place was like in 1663. There wasn't roads here, there weren't cars, there weren't even cemeteries here. It must have been almost wilderness. Peopled only by the Wampanoag and those early English settlers. And look, here's another clue about this little building along a busy highway. This one says the First Baptist Church in Massachusetts, founded in 1663, has been placed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Here's another clue. This plaque on this monolith, set here at this place called Knockham Hill, says the First Baptist Church in Massachusetts was founded near this spot in 1663. I think the first meeting house stood right over there. The Reverend John Miles, James Brown, Nicholas Tanner, these were the founders of the First Baptist Church. Who were these people? Where did they come from? Why did they settle here? John Miles, he was the pastor of the church. And this plaque was put here in 1963, commemorating our 300th anniversary. And that was 50 years ago. John Miles and others of the First Baptist Church of Wales, this is the first Baptist church founded by a Welshman on the American shores. This plaque was given by the Gower Society. Edgar G. Davies, chairman. What else can we see here that might help us understand this story? And yet another clue. This plaque was erected by the Luther family in 1936. Samuel Luther was the second pastor of this church from 1685 to 1716. He, I believe somebody told me, was kidnapped by the Indians. Yes, there's a story here someplace. Hi, my name's Charles Hartman. I was the 46th settled pastor of this church. When I came in 2001, people told me that it was an old church. And in my curiosity, I asked, how old is it? Well, we began to find out a lot of interesting things that stretch back now across 350 years of this church's history. We discovered that it was in fact, the oldest Baptist church in Massachusetts, and we are now the third oldest surviving Baptist church in the Americas. I discovered a church that was still lively and active after 350 years of continuous history. This congregation has survived all the wars since the King Philip War, all major depressions, prosperities, Indian attack, hurricane, storms, and droughts. And all through this story, we have experienced God's grace. This is a unique congregation in many ways, particularly amongst the Baptists. For when I came, I discovered that it was a congregation that not only came out of a Puritan congregational church, but it also, 100 years later, gave birth to a congregational church, as well as three other Baptist churches, one in Bellingham, one here in Rehoboth, the Oak Swamp Church, and the Baptist Church in Warren, from which the Rhode Island College, later Brown University, was formed. It was founded by a Welshman, as we indicated a little while ago. He was the first pastor of this church, but he was also the first founding pastor of Baptist churches in Wales. Reverend Linda Lee Snyder is with us this morning, and we're going to ask her just two questions. Reverend Snyder, you've been here now just a year. Could you tell us what you've discovered as you become a part of this stream of history, now 350 years old?
Yes, I came on board pleased with the opportunity to be here. Historical American Baptist Church, founded on these principles of tolerance and liberty, so in the Baptist tradition. And this is a congregation that really values that and treasures this long and storied tradition. And I found still a congregation engaged with the present and excited about how those values, how that tradition might come forward and be lived out in the present and in the future.
So, and you're entrusted this moment of transition between the settled pastors. How do you see the future of this church unfolding?
Well, it's not, they share this difficult task today with, congregations all over the United States trying to discern what their purpose is in this new religiously plural landscape. So it's not been easy, it's not complete, but I think the core leadership is looking forward to being of service for the gospel, for the kingdom here in Swansea and the surrounding areas. And
deep in the roots of this congregation, the very toleration that makes this country a free country. And as we tell this story this year in our 350th anniversary, we want to help other people talk and understand about grace in the wilderness, the story of the First Baptist Church in Swansea. Next time, we're going to look at John Miles and some of the other early people and see where they came from, begin to explore the backstory.